Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed watching the World War II rationing and kind of be reminded that I think there's a lot of power in telling digital stories and having students create digital stories to even illustrate what they know about the topic. The unique thing about this digital story was it was created in terms of keeping someone's point of view in the forefront, and I think that's very, very important. So as we think about this, it's kind of that question that I posed to you before you started watching it, and it's like, okay, if a student created a project like this for me in a classroom, how would I evaluate it? Okay, so think about that for a little bit. I mean, would you create questions? Would you create an exam? Would you create a checklist? Would you create a rubric? You know, there's a lot of ways that we can assess students, okay? So it's still finding what is the best way to really communicate to students how well they did on that assignment. And so I think that's what we want to think about. And in order to do that, what you have to do is you really have to go back to your lesson objectives. If the lesson objectives were written correctly, in my book anyway, with a condition, a behavioral verb, and a criteria, that's going to help you align that assessment with the goal or objectives of your lesson plan. Okay, so let's say, for example, that for this digital story, this is an example of an objective that was written. Okay, so after reading the book The Wall by Eve Bunting, students will research and gather at least 5 important and accurate pieces of information related to a war topic. Okay, so as you might expect, let's see what it looks like when we break the parts down, just as a review. The condition would be, obviously, after reading the book The Wall by Eve Bunting. Okay, the verb is basically here research and gather. Students will research and gather. I can see them, I can observe them researching and gathering this information. Okay, and then the criteria is I should find 5 important and accurate pieces of information related to a specific war topic. So again, somehow I have to assess, were they able to gather research about these 5 different things? If you think back to that movie, I would probably say there was easily 5 things that contributed to that story that was accurate, reliable, and informative. Okay, so that's kind of what you do. And so, see, if you write great objectives for your lesson that include criteria, then you need to pull that criteria out and put it into your assessment, whatever that is, could be. Now, could you write an exam? Well, yes, you could, but you got to remember that maybe in this case, all the students picked a different war topic. So if they did, are you going to have an exam that covers everybody's topic with that, depth and breadth? So those are the things. Sometimes it has to be a little open-ended too to make it work. Okay? So let's say we have a couple of other objectives here. So number 1, after researching a war topic using online and printed resources, students will plan and create a digital video that describes someone's story from the individual's point of view that includes at least 3 pieces of information found while researching their topic. So another, that's objective 2, a little bit different. Now this one does focus on that technology a little bit, okay? Because they're going to plan and create a digital video or a digital story that describes this story, okay? But that's fair. It's still very focused on the content that they're learning. The third objective is, after hearing a war veteran share his or her story and experiences, students will work collaboratively to create a digital video. Now this is a little two-parter, so it's a little bit different. I don't usually like to do it this way, but it's okay. It gets the idea. After the project is completed, each student will evaluate project partners on their contributions and their ability to work with others. Okay, so it's kind of embedded in there. Okay, so what I would like you to do, or as you look at these 3 objectives, my task for you is to go in and identify all of the criteria that have been shared in these objectives. Because once you have, if these are the 3 objectives to my lesson, and I have all those criteria clearly defined, then I have the beginnings that I need to start creating some type of an assessment, because the assessment has to assess the objectives to see if they were made. Okay, so the next step in your flipped experience is to go to step 5 and now complete the Google form. This shouldn't take you very long, because all I'm asking you to do here is to identify the criteria that we haven't talked about. Okay, so good luck. I think you can refer back to the screen that you need and to think about what are the criteria in the second and the third objectives presented. Okay, so go ahead to the Google form now.